Hey everyone, welcome to the Jon Gil Podcast Show. And on this episode, I just want to quickly touch base on certain areas of the City of Chicago Building Department's codes. So if you don't already have it, there is a new book that came out. It's called the Chicago Construction Codes 2019. All right, and this is going to completely replace all of the prior codes that were out there. And what I wanted to do in this segment is I want to highlight work that can actually be done without a permit, okay? So, but before we begin, as always, if you like what you hear, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That would definitely mean the world to us. So, okay. So, you know, if once you get this book, and by the way, there's a series of about 8 books that you should actually get from the City of Chicago department, and we're going to go ahead and list some of those here below. So look at the description, and there's going to be a link to every single book that you should have as an investor or developer in the city. And I can tell you by experience that there are many developers out there and general contractors, investors, rehabbers that have no clue what they're doing, or they rely too much on their subcontractor, and the subcontractor might not have the latest codes in place. So but let's begin with this on page 4-2. There is a work exempt from permit, and for interior work, it says that any painting, papering, tiling, carpeting, cabinets, countertops, and similar finish work without plumbing or electrical connections. So that's key. If you're just replacing cabinets, that's okay. But if you are going to do any sort of plumbing or electrical connections, then you're going to have to get your permit. Number 2, it says drywall or plaster repair or replacement up to 1,000 square feet without alteration of plumbing or electrical device systems. So you can see already that the code consistently is saying, as long as it's not electrical or plumbing. And they put it on each number to signify just how important it is that you understand no plumbing or electrical. Number 3, in-kind replacement of ceiling tiles that are not part of a fire-rated assembly. Number 4, in-kind replacement of interior doors that are not required to have a fire resistance rating. Number 5, temporary motion picture, television, and theatrical stage sets and scenery. 6 is non-fixed and movable fixtures, so cases, racks, counters, and partitions not over 7 feet in height. So keep that in mind if you have, say, a loft building and you're looking to make some partitions, as long as it's not over 7 feet in height, and again, no electrical is behind that wall, then you should be okay. And that was all the interior work that you can get away with as far as not getting a permit. Now, we're going to move on now to the exterior work. So anything exterior that is work exempt from permit. And this is 14A-4-402 of the code. And on exterior work, number 1, it says non-combustible sidewalks, patios, walkways, parking services, and driveways that are not located in or on the public way, not more than 30 inches above adjacent grade and not over any basement or story below. So that's huge. Keep that in mind. You do not need a permit for anything that you do for those walkways, those sidewalks, or those patios. And number 2, fences that are not more than 5 feet above the ground on both sides and that conform to the Chicago zoning ordinance. So do you see how they refer you now to the Chicago zoning ordinance? So be very careful to ensure that you are having the appropriate type of fencing. All right, so you can put a fence up as long as it's not more than 5 feet, but be careful if you try to get creative on different types of fences that you want to put up. Make sure that it adheres to the zoning ordinance. All right, and that's also another book as well. That is going to be listed on the summaries. Number 3, the retaining walls that are not over 4 feet in height measured from the bottom of the footing to the top of the wall, not supporting a surge charge and not impounding liquids. So retaining walls that are not over 4 feet. Number 4 is prefabricated swimming pools, accessories to a group R-5, occupancy that are less than 24 inches deep, are not greater than 5,000 gallons, and are installed entirely above ground. Okay, so there you go. Any work to the pool that is essentially above ground and not greater than 5,000 gallons, you can do work to. And number 5, shade cloth structures constructed for nursery or agricultural purposes, not including service systems. Number 6, playground equipment accessory to a building of Group R occupancy. So you see how they're throwing in certain terminology that you may not be aware of, and that's going to be defined in, I would assume, some of these other books that we're going to be listing here below. And number 7, landscapes, plants, and vegetation. Number 8, repairs described in section 14A-4-402-2. All right. And now on permanent structures, this is the other work exempt from permit. Number 1, one-story detached structures not more than 15 feet above the ground without plumbing and used as tool and storage sheds, open gazebos, playhouses, and similar uses, provided that the floor area is not greater than 150 square feet. And number 2, water tanks supported directly on grade if the capacity is not greater than 5,000 gallons and the ratio of height to diameter or width is not greater than 2 to 1. So, at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're just giving you a quick highlight of what you can expect to see on this Chicago Construction Code's administrative provisions under the Municipal Code of Chicago, Title 14A. All right. Ensure that you have every single book handy. And number 2, ensure you don't have to memorize, I would assume. I mean, it's great to memorize every single code, but as long as you have them handy and you can quickly get to them, that's what's important. If you know that you're going to be doing electrical work, well, okay, take out the specific, look up the specific section regarding electrical. If you're doing plumbing, there you go. If you're looking up heating and cooling, I'm sure that's another one. Even though your contractor should be entirely aware of the codes, you should still have this handy, because then you can actually review some of their work and say, well, wait a minute, this light fixture is not installed where it should be. This outlet is not where it should be. So it keeps you informed, and it also allows you not to get screwed by any subs that you have on your project. So, in fact, electrical work, so this is going to be important. This is, again, it's still going on work exempt from the permit. Minor electrical repair work, including the replacement of lamps or the connections of portable electrical equipment to permanently installed receptacles. So any sort of minor electrical repair work does not require a permit. And that, again, that includes the replacement of lamps. So keep that in mind. If you're a landlord and your tenant says, where's the permit for this work? Well, you can say, well, according to 14A-4-402, I don't need one. I am just I'm doing a minor repair work. Number 2, electrical equipment used for radio and television transmissions regulated by the Federal Communications Commission. Number 3, the installation of any temporary system required for the testing or servicing of electrical equipment or apparatus. Number 4, the installation or alteration of low voltage electrical fixtures, including telephones, computers, speakers, doorbells, and thermostats. A permit is required for the installation, however, of low voltage wiring. So they did say wiring. Anything that requires the wiring, you're going to want to, for low voltage wiring, will require the permit. Number 5, the installation or alteration of low voltage and communication wiring in buildings of Group R occupancy with not more than 4 stories above ground, plain and accessory structures such as private garages and carports located on the same lot as such buildings. All right, so there you have it. You can actually do electrical work without a permit as long as it follows this specific guidelines, and it has to, and if you see, it's basically minor work. I mean, it's kind of common sense. You're not going to be replacing your electric. You're not going to be upgrading your 100 amp service to 200 amp without a permit, right? You're not going to be installing new outlets without a permit. This is all minor stuff. Okay, minor work. Yes, you can get away with anything that. Just use common sense. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. And so as far as your mechanicals, number one, portable heating appliances, portable ventilation. Number two, portable ventilation equipment. Number three, portable cooling equipment. 4, repair or replace of any part within any heating, cooling, or ventilation equipment regulated by the Chicago construction codes that does not alter its function. 5, self-contained refrigeration systems containing 10 pounds or less of refrigerant and actuated by motors of 1 horsepower. And plumbing. So we're just going to breeze through this because we're almost done here with the specific section that I wanted to run through with all of you. And that was the work exempt from permit. So plumbing, number 1, the stopping of leaks in drains or in water, soil, waste, or vent pipes within a building or within 5 feet of the building foundation. The removal and replacement of any drain pipe, water, soil, waste, or vent pipe, or concealed trap with new material requires a permit. And inspection as provided in the Chicago construction codes. Okay, so keep that in mind. So you don't need a permit if it's just to stop the leaks in drains or in water, soil, waste, or vent pipes within a building. But you do, it appears, need a plumbing permit if it's for the removal and replacement of any drains, soil, waste, or vent pipes. So one is stopping the leaks, does not need a permit. If you are replacing, okay, so you see the words? One is stop and then the other is replace. So if you're replacing, you're going to need a permit. Number 2, the clearing of stoppage or the repairing of leaks in pipes, valves, fixtures, and the removal and reinstallation of water closets, provided that such repairs do not include or require the replacement or rearrangement of valves, pipes, or fixtures or work beyond 5 feet from the building foundation. So there you have it. And there's one more here. Conveyance devices. Number 1, repairs to a conveyance device, including involving replacement of existing parts with other parts that are identical to those that are replaced, provided a written log of such repairs, but must be maintained by the owner and made available to the building official upon request. And the last paragraph here is exception, and that says, a permit is required for any work that affects the exterior or designed interior elements of a Chicago landmark. And there you have it. So that is work exempt from permit. It does continue. There's some other ones here regarding repair exempt from permit 14A-4-402.2. And, we'll get into that one at a later time. But my goal of this specific segment was to just highlight that work can be done without a permit if it requires, if it's a minor alterations, and you need to get this book. And there's actually a few others that I'm going to share with you as well. We have the Chicago Construction Codes 2019. That is the Chicago Building Rehabilitation Code based on the 2018 International Existing Building Code. So it looks like this. Make sure that they have the 2019 date. We also have the next one here. It's the Chicago Construction Codes 2019, Title 14B. So you can see each one's a little different, right? The first one that I went over with you was Title 14A. There's another one called Title 14B. We have another one here called Title 14R. And then we also have here another one, as you can see. It is the Chicago Plan Review Handbook. This is another one that you're going to want to have handy. So the bottom line is I'm going to go ahead and just add all of these to the bottom of the page so you can click on it, buy the book, ensure that you are following all of the steps with the City of Chicago. And in fact, if a building inspector ever shows up also on site, hey, if you have these books prior to the inspection, if anything comes up well, hey, you can quickly run your car, you can check, and you can say, well, you said this, but your codes actually state something else. Can you help me clarify what it is that I'm reading wrong, right? Because they know their jobs, right? I mean, that's why they're a building inspector, and you want to treat them with respect. But if you catch something that doesn't match what the book says, then at least you have an opportunity to say, please help me clarify, because what you're telling me is a little different than what I have here in my handbook. So with that, thank you so much. As always, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give us a like button, and thank you so much for your time.